All right. So this is a history report. History that you're not going to see that's not been written down. History that I've observed and spoken to people that were around and people that are still around about the history of the Church of Satan after Anton LaVey died in 1997, as they kind of became, pretty quiet. I mean, they had their little, well, not little, but whatever, their party in 6/6 of '06. And I think Peter Gilmore's done a few things on like History Channel, or I've seen him a couple times, stuff like that, and podcasts and stuff like that. So I mean, the Church of Satan is still around, but they don't have the same presence as they did when LaVey was around. And here's what basically happened with the Church of Satan and why they've kind of faded into not obscurity, but definitely taken a back seat compared to what they were, say, in the 80s and 90s. I joined the Church of Satan in 1994. LaVey died in 1997. I wasn't really actively involved with the Church of Satan. I mean, didn't really, was kind of a loner, I corresponded a couple times just through snail mail, but didn't really get much of a response, and just continue my own way type thing. But since I got online in 2010, and have been meeting a lot of Satanists through, say, YouTube and social media, right? I mean, I was kind of a late bloomer. I didn't get on the internet and make a presence really till about 2009, 2010. I've been meeting people that were around when LaVey died, who are or were still part of the administration of the Church of Satan, or who knew some of the LaVeys, like Carla LaVey, and people that are really credible, that would know sources of information that I wasn't privileged to. And what happened is, when LaVey died, his estate, his house, stuff like that, that was kind of up in the air, and who was going to take over the Church of Satan, right? Accordingly, Boyd Rice says that he was supposed to take over the Church of Satan, and he's got a big article about that on his website. I think it's his website called Non? I don't remember. Anyway, if you just look at his website, his main website, about how he was supposed to be the high priest of the Church of Satan, and then he goes on and writes about how he's going to accept that offer that LaVey extended to him, and now he declares the Church of Satan closed, dead. That was Boyd Rice's way of saying, Church of Satan is irrelevant. But outside of that, they were trying to figure out who was going to take over the Church of Satan, how they're going to divide up the states and stuff like that. I guess Carla LaVey, Anton LaVey's oldest daughter, ended up suing Blanche Barton to try to get the high priest, or the Church of Satan, basically, whatever that is, right? That's kind of vague to what that exactly is. But I guess she lost, and so Blanche Barton ended up getting the Church of Satan. And how Peter Gilmore came to get the Church of Satan was Peter Gilmore and Peggy Andromeda, according to the sources who were around at the time, said that basically supported Blanche Barton, helped her get back on her feet, helped her financially for the first few years after LaVey died. And as a gesture of respect, Blanche Barton gave, to thank Peter Gilmore, gave Gilmore the high priest status of the Church of Satan. I guess he was not picked by LaVey too, and I guess, but when he died, it was entrusted to Blanche, and I think LaVey probably wanted, ideally, his son, Satan Xerxes Carnacki LaVey, or now he goes by the name Eric Barton. Guess he didn't like being called in school Satan Xerxes Carnacki LaVey. Can't blame the kid. Satan, here, thank you. Yeah, that would get old. But so Gilmore inherited the Church of Satan via Blanche. And as far as Eric Barton goes, last time I checked, he was in the San Diego area where I live, and he had something to do with Thrasher Magazine, a pretty big skate company, and he's a photographer. If you look at the symbol for Thrasher Magazine, I guess when he got involved, it's now like a Baphomet with skateboard trucks going across. It's pretty cool. But yeah, apparently, I'm pretty sure he must have had something to do with that, but I'm not positive. Anyway, apparently he doesn't have an interest in the Church of Satan. He said he is a Satanist, but he's not interested in being involved with the Church of Satan because he thinks it's kind of silly. So, that being said, it doesn't look like he's going to be the high priest anytime soon. Now, this all went on like in the early 2000s, from like 1997 to like 2002 or something like that. And like I might be off by a couple years, but it's right around the early 2000s. And well, the internet started to boom in the late 90s, right? That's really when it started to take off, you know. And the Church of Satan, I think they underestimated how big the internet was going to be, because they sure as fuck didn't do anything to try to promote Satanism or the Church of Satan, except for like a really shitty website that was built like in 1998 or something like that. It was old. I mean, I'll get into this later, but yeah, that's really all they did. I mean, when social media came up, even like YouTube, when YouTube came out in 2006, something like that. I got on in 2009. I was a late bloomer, but Church of Satan they still have a website. It's called the Satanic News Network or something like that. Satanic News Network, something like that. And they basically got up and threw up like fucking 12 YouTube videos of just like documents, you know, of Gilmore on shows and stuff. That was it. That's all they did. Like, they just neglected social media. I mean, the fact that the Church of Satan isn't the dominant voice of Satanism on YouTube goes to show you like how bad they fucked that up. Because I mean, if anybody was going to be the voice of, you know, Satanism on YouTube, it would be the Church of Satan. But here, last time I looked over at their channel, they had like 12,000 subscribers, and just like, you know, just myself alone between my two channels have about 55,000 subscribers. So it kind of just shows you like, what did they do? How did they drop the ball? They didn't care. They just didn't take it seriously. And I don't think that. I just think they underestimated it. But anyway, so that's kind of what happened. Is they just didn't put a lot of effort into promoting themselves on the internet. And then with the internet, now everybody has a microphone, right? Like, you know, nobody knew who the fuck I was until I got on YouTube, right? And with, you know, because now I got my own mic, right? That's kind of what kind of ultimately started, well, that's what facilitated the Church of Satan being faded into obscurity. Didn't help that Peter Gilmore kind of like went from $100 for membership fee to $200, you know, as soon as he took over, or shortly after. And now the Church of Satan is basically like a business. You know, they have their online store, they sell stuff. I mean, they still have their website, which, by the way, when I made fun of them in public on the air on a show called the Thinking Atheist, the Thinking Atheist invited me to do the thing about Satanism. And I was like, yeah, that'd be cool, you know. And then at the last minute, they're like, oh, sorry, guess Peter Gilmore's going to do it now. Like, whoa, okay, cool. I said, can I do it too? He's like, nope. Gilmore won't take any live calls or anything like that. I was like, okay, well, can I at least call in? He's like, yeah, definitely call in. So I did. And that's on my channel. I think it's called, it's on one of my channels. I think it's on Satanic International Network, or Satanic International channel. It's called Interview with Peter Gilmore or something like that. Just put in Peter Gilmore, it should pop up. I think that's the only video I have with his name in it. And though it's a whole podcast. It's like 30 minutes long. And then I have another video that says something that's a very similar title that's just me on the last half of it. Just because it was a really long podcast. Anyway, you can see that for what I said. And yeah, I basically made fun of their website just because I was like, yeah, it looks like this was built in Windows 98. And like 2 or 3 weeks after I said that, they changed their fucking website for the first time in like, I don't know, fucking 12 years or something. Oh yeah, I forgot to add this in there when I was talking about the Church of Satan's website. I noticed this maybe, I don't know, 3 or 4 years ago. On the Church of Satan's website, there's something called Satanic Bunco. It's basically talking about, you know, don't be fooled by imitations or, you know, other satanic organizations that misrepresent Satanism, blah, 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 stuff like that. And they kind of took a pot shot on me in the Satanic Bunco, on that article. And paragraph 6, it says something to the effect of, don't waste your time with silly intercommunications networks. And they capitalize the word silly, and then intercommunications they capitalize, and then networks. So SIN, Silly Intercommunications Networks, or Satanic International Network, which is mine, right? And it's just funny, you know, I suppose with the acronym SIN. But yeah, I just thought it was kind of funny. It took me a while to catch it. I don't know how long that's been up there, but I caught it about 3 or 4 years ago. Touche. It was just funny. So they are making an attempt, and they do respond, not directly, but indirectly like that, to criticisms. And, you know, if you poke fun at them, it seems like they're trying. But I think they're just trying a little too late. I think they're just a little too late. which is kind of sad because now look what we got. The whole satanic organization things it's over. It's over. The internet stomped out and killed satanic organizations. I mean, they still exist. I mean, even Satanic International Network is a satanic organization. But the function and the purpose of having an organization, a satanic organization, is now kind of obsolete. I mean, it used to be to like meet other like-minded people, other Satanists. I mean, that was why I joined the Church of Satan, right? Now it's like, fuck. I mean, I want to join the Church of Satan now, just because. What's the point? I mean, unless you really want that red card for, I think now it's up to $250, something like that. Because like what, you get on YouTube and bam, look, you can find myself, Jason King, you can find all kinds of people. You know what I mean? That Satanists out here making videos, and fuck, social media now is the way you meet people. That wasn't available back in the late '90s. So there is no more Church of Satan. I mean, they will always be, the like OG or satanic organization, since it was LaVey who started it, right? And they're always going to hold on to that. Well, we're the first organization, so we're the best. And I mean, I give them credit for that, but at the same time, not a lot of those people in that organization were like really built that organization. They're kind of there as an afterthought, including Gilmore. Now, I'm not saying but when I mention Gilmore like that, I'm not saying that anything bad against the guy at all. It's just not. I mean, he's a smart guy. I mean, I don't know him, so whatever I say, it's just, take it with a grain of salt. It just kind of seems like he's just there. He kind of parrots LaVey. He's really good at that, though. He's very articulate, and he's real sharp on the mic, but it seems like he just kind of parrots, what LaVey had said. And it's just the same rhetoric over and over and over. LaVey's been dead for quite some time. It's like, is the Church Satan going to do anything new? No, they're not. Or if it is, it's not going to be anything substantial, in my opinion. I'd like them to prove me wrong. I think they're just going to sit there and parrot it and just repeat the shit that they did in the 80s and 90s. And time will tell. Hopefully, because now with the Satanic Temple, which are not Satanist, that is a satanic organization that is using Satanism to catch headlines and to Satanism has a protected religious rights, being an established, recognized religion in the United States. So the Satanic Temple would not be able to do nearly what they've been doing as far as political activism if they didn't attach themselves to a religion. So they attach themselves to Satanism because it's catchy, grabs headlines, and it just pisses people off. So they're basically kind of trolling using Satanism. I mean, I'm not saying that they're not some people aren't Satanists in the organization, because there are Satanists in the organization, but the majority of the people in the Satanic Temple have no idea what Satanism is, probably never even read the Satanic Bible. They just are there because it's fashionable now. It's cool. It's trendy. And, and they want to be edgy. And now, people think that Satanists are, left-wing, alt-left, political activist, LGBT community people. So most of the people in Satanic Temple are not. Anyway, I'd much rather see the Church of Satan revive themselves and the Satanic Temple stop calling themselves Satanists. I don't necessarily disagree with what they're doing. I disagree with the fact that they're doing it using Satanism, or the label Satanism, because they're making the rest of us look fucking stupid. And but anyway, I guess I could say that for a different video. I think I've already made that one. I can make it again though. But so that's what happened to the Church of Satan. I'm tired, so I'm starting to ramble. That's it. We'll see what happens. I mean, the Church of Satan will, to this day, claim that they're just as relevant as they always were, and people don't know what goes behind closed doors. Actually, a lot of us do know what goes behind closed doors. So I have friends in the Church of Satan administration. I would call other people some acquaintances within, or friends of friends, like in the upper group, and there ain't nothing going on behind closed doors. It's a very there's there's individual people are doing individual things, but there's no real talk of a movement or anything that's going to get any attention or affect any change, really. It's just going to be sitting there making money, selling stuff, selling memberships, selling merchandise. That's basically it. It's become a machine to make money online. So that's it. So I guess Boyd Rice was right to say that. I think he said that in 2012 is when he said that the Church of Satan is dead. He's now the high priest of the Church of Satan. He's taking it back, and now he declares it closed. And that was pretty prophetic, because it pretty much is. Now, I'm sure I'm going to get some hate comments down here from Church of Satan people. You know what? I'm going to tell you guys this right now. You guys can fuck off, because I was a member of the Church of Satan too for 16 years. Now, I'm sure that some of you will have a different opinion than me, and that's fine. I'm sure some of you know more than I do, and you probably do, since I am not directly involved with the Church of Satan anymore. But, you can save your jeers for later. I'm still friends with a lot of people in the Church of Satan. I don't have anything against anybody in the Church of Satan, actually. Just there's no need for it anymore, and the organization is defunct. It's there, but it's not doing anything. It's basically a floating duck. Quack.